Up, everybody? John and Nelson here. Another Tale of the Tape blog for you guys. NFL draft coverage, day one over with. We're gonna go over the big winners and losers, what our surprises were and whatnot. But first, let's get to our sponsor of the day, Febreze.
Fresh.
Lavender. Okay. Anyway, so biggest surprise of the day. What was your biggest surprise of the day?
Definitely the Falcons jumping up to the number 6 spot and getting Julio Jones from Alabama. I
Who?
think that was Julio Jones from Alabama, a great wide receiver. Didn't think they would jump up and didn't really think they had very many needs to fill, but obviously they felt like, helping out Matt Ryan and Roddy White, that was a big acquisition for them moving forward in the future.
Okay, my biggest surprise, I would have to say Nick Fairley going number 13 to the Lions.
14.
13? 13. To the Lions. People had him in the top 10, actually number 1 at one point. So, but this is a big win for the Lions. I mean, with the division, the NFC North, this puts them in the conversation for, playoff contenders. So.
And with Ndamukong Suh already, in that defensive line, and Kyle Van Der Bosch, they might be one of the top run-stopping teams next year. So as long as they can fill that secondary holes they have, they look like they can be making the push up the NFC North.
Yeah. And so our biggest loser of the day, what was your biggest loser?
Well, I have multiple losers. My first loser would be Carolina. I just feel that they don't need to draft Cam Newton. Not only do they have one young quarterback, two young quarterbacks, they have three young quarterbacks. They have Matt Moore, they have Jimmy Clausen, and Tony Pike. So drafting Cam Newton is more of a promotional thing to me. I still think Cam Newton's going to be successful. I just wish it was with somebody different, somebody that actually needed a quarterback like Buffalo or Arizona.
Okay, and another big loser on the day, I would have to say really New England, because they traded away draft picks and whatnot, but they passed up on a lot of people such as Mark Ingram, which I think they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot over eventually, because Mark Ingram's a great prospect. Like, people compare him to Emmitt Smith and whatnot, so I think they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot for not picking a guy like that, or a Daquan Bowers, who didn't even get picked up, him or Andy Dalton. So those are some other big surprises that we had today.
Two other losers I felt that really missed out in this draft are the Cleveland Browns. I think they missed out. I know they traded away the opportunity to pick up Julio Jones or somebody else, but when you have the opportunity to build the wide receiving core in Cleveland and help out Colt McCoy, that really hurt them. And also Blaine Gabbert sliding to number 10. Even though John believes that him going to the Jaguars is a great fit, which I also agree to. Going to Jacksonville, he can sit and learn behind David Garrard. I just feel that Blaine Gabbert was probably expecting to compete for a starting job this season, and he thought he was gonna be a top 5 pick, and just sliding down to number 10. It's kind of similar to what Matt Leinart had to go through a couple years ago, but I still think he'll be a good fit in Jacksonville.
Okay, so most of you guys are Cowboy fans and whatnot. Personally, I don't like their pick. I really don't.
Tyron Smith from USC.
Yeah, I mean, they need corners. That's what they need. They need a quarterback. That's what they really need. But anyway, Prince was there, available, the cornerback from Nebraska. I think they should have used that pick on him, because as we're gonna see, the offense is going to do what they do. Tony Romo's going to get it up there to Dez Bryant and whatnot. But the weakness, again, is going to be the secondary. And you're not going to win a Super Bowl with that secondary, I guarantee you.
But at the same time, we've seen what happens with quarterbacks who don't have a good offensive line. Romo, just coming off of a serious shoulder injury, broke his collarbone. If you don't have an offensive line to protect your quarterback, you can't stay on the field. And your defense is going to be torched regardless of whether or not you have a good cornerback or not. So drafting Tyron Smith, even though most Cowboy fans probably want the big flashy name, flashy splash, like Prince or somebody else, Tyron Smith is a good pick, and when you have a chance to draft an offensive lineman as high as number 9, you might as well go ahead and take that chance.
My thing is, you hear the saying, offense wins your games, defense wins your championships. That's my biggest thing. And with the past Super Bowl winners, you have big defensive moments in the playoffs, and there's not really anybody besides DeMarcus Ware on that defense that gives you any kind of impact whatsoever. So
At the same time, though, if you look at those teams' offensive linemen, I mean, every team that has won a Super Bowl over the past decade has had a great offensive line to protect those quarterbacks.
That has to also go along with coaching. The Cowboys have one of the biggest offensive lines in the league. They just are garbage. That's what I'm basically getting at.
Okay. Tomorrow's second day of the draft. Anything that you think will happen tomorrow with the second and third rounds?
I'm very eager to see where Andy Dalton goes.
TCU.
He is 42-7, or he was 42-7 as a starter at TCU. He's a big name. I just want to see where he's going to go. Daquan Bowers also didn't get picked up today because of injuries that he's had. So, just ready to see what's going to happen with that.
Also, another quarterback I'd like to see, picked up in the second day of the draft is Ryan Mallett, quarterback from Arkansas. We saw Christian Ponder from Florida State get drafted number 12 by the Vikings in the first round. That was really a big time development. And if Ryan Mallett doesn't get into trouble, doesn't have these incidents and character issues, Ryan Mallett's probably a first round pick. So it's going to be interesting to see what team is going to take a chance on Ryan Mallett and deal with his character issues.
So that's basically our recap of the first round, day 1 of the NFL draft. So stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated on the other rounds and see if anybody, from South Grand Prairie, gets drafted. You never know. There's a few players out there. Trey Johnson from Tulsa, wide receiver. Malcolm Williams, cornerback, TCU. Pog Boley, think he's trying to play safety, Utah State. Those are big names. We'll see what happens with that. But anyway, signing off till next time. John and Nelson. Go Mavs.